What is the process like for putting together a menu? That's kind of a
Good
real
question.
big open question for you.
No, it's cool. I'll try to keep it as concise as I can.
Yeah.
The process for me is super fun. It's my one of my favorite parts of what I do. Um, I think that people are always shocked when they put in a request, whether they know of me or maybe it's a request I field online, and I immediately, not immediately, but I pick up the phone and I call them. So I operate on a very analog schedule that way, because I want to get an understanding of who they are, who we're celebrating, um, and I just ask questions. Um, some of them are just basic logistic questions about dates and times and how many people. But what I'm really trying to uncover is what do you have in mind? And in that way, I can respond to a request and not try to force a program into one direction or another. And it's a lot like building a dish. Like I said, like I want the culinary program for an event to fit perfectly into the space and the time and the guests that are there. So it just starts with a conversation. Where do you like to go out to eat? What would you order? Would you share this? Would you each get your own? You know, and I just gather a little bit of a vibe about the hosts and maybe who we're celebrating or the group. And then as soon as I'm done with that conversation, I leave no time between that conversation and menu writing.
Yeah.
So I immediately start writing based on what I think would work really well for the occasion, what's worked well in the past, um, what ingredients I have seen and have sparked my interest, um, and and that's it really. That program changes all the time, So sometimes it's an 8 course tasting menu. Sometimes it's a drop off and eat, and because that is what makes sense for you guys. So yeah, that's really it.
Absolutely. So I'm kind of hearing that, using all of the tools that you have a conversation with the person you're going to be cooking with, and you sort of take that impression and then just right away start to formulate based off of that impression.
Absolutely, because I want that conversation and that first impression to really guide. It sounds corny, but it's like you're trying to um, you're trying to make something from nothing. You know what I mean? When you're writing or being creative in any aspect,
Yeah.
you have to have a why.
Yeah.
And if your why gets diluted into, you know, because I have to write a menu, or
Yes.
because it's just what I have to do,
Yeah.
whatever you're making, whether it's pottery or art or paintings
Yeah.
or writing a book or anything, if you lose a connection with why you're doing it, it's going to be that much harder to get to the spot. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how I do it.